So apologies for getting to this relatively late. I had to handle some more anti-Scientology videos and a few other things. But let us get to it. Yes or no? Well, insofar as the teaser was a teaser, I thought this was very, very well done. Yeah, it's not a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a fairly good score. So what is going on without spoiling too much? Probably the only thing I'd have to speak on is the TVA. And if you don't know the TVA, you will probably need to see at least a few episodes of Loki. That's about it. I like Loki seasons 1 and 2, but may not be for everyone. But you may have to marathon a few episodes with Loki. So essentially, Deadpool apparently is being recruited by the TVA, which is a kind of multiverse agency keeping track of different timelines. So the TVA will explain how he enters the MCU formally. But beyond that, it's unclear where we stand. He is fighting in a few scenes, so are Wolverine and Deadpool allies or will they be enemies? A lot is left to the imagination. Probably the only major complaint is we get very little Wolverine. He only shows up at the very, very end. It is funny, but a lot of people are mixed that it would have been nice to get more of Wolverine. He is, quote, in the classic costume, but it is not exactly faithful to the comics. So it's mixed, but I'm mixed positive for what it will be. I imagine it will be very fun, silly little thing. Will it really shape the MCU in any significant way? Well, they've given hints that they will be retconning a huge amount of the MCU in the future. So, what role this plays into that, unclear. But for what it is, it does feel cohesive with the other Deadpool films, which are very meta and are very silly and not meant to be taken seriously in any strong sense. And I'm not exactly a Deadpool fan of the films because I read Deadpool in the comics and I prefer the comic version, although he can be very extreme in the comics too. I prefer the early Deadpool comics and where he showed up just as a guest star in other books, but that is me. So, just based on the teaser, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I would recommend you take a look. It does seem intriguing enough, and you don't need too much of the MCU or X-Men films. You just need to know the basics of who Deadpool is, and maybe just see some of the trailers from the earlier films, and you'll catch yourself up. But you do need to do a little bit of homework. It looks promising, but again, it's only a teaser. Maybe the film itself will be very, very disappointing. But the teaser at least was, yeah, it was pretty fun.